Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News. Black Minds News is to report, articulate, communicate, insinuate, divulge, investigate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, website, or quotes from publications. As I articulate this information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this place that we call the United States, we, the foundational black Americans, the bloodline historical lineage, the historical people known as slaves today, we who call ourselves BADOS, Black American Descendant of Slaves. Others say Black African Descendant of Slaves. Some say ADOS, American Descendant of Slaves. We, the today children, offspring, and present generation, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto of the show is? I'm never gonna tell you what I heard. I'm only gonna tell you what I know. Well, today's date is August 23rd, 2019. We're gonna go over to Tennessee. Did you hear? A story that happened actually last year. And because of the continuous that we have been seeing lately of young black men, minor infractions, they are infractions. So some people say, well, they are doing things, minor infractions. But these minor fractures are causing the sum total of losing one's life. So what is the value of a black life in these United States? Due to our historical circumstances and the way that the prolonged abuses and disenfranchisement, sum total went up to what we have in the present day of the people who are still the descendant and lineage of that, are still in a position no better off than what happened, as they say now, that they're counting from 1619 to 2019, being 400 years. Some situations have never changed. They have not been much better than they were then. So for the offsprings of those who are still striving in a system that is locking you out in every facet and form of what they call the American dream. So you have to survive the best way you can by any means necessary. Sometimes seems a possibility. But in the case of this story here, a young man, 17 years old, pros and cons is, some people say, well, maybe you didn't need this. But you have to look at the situation that says, well, maybe you didn't see the long end of the tunnel, not saying per se him, but the individual that is actually being incarcerated for. So let's see through this story here, the mistakes on both sides, but was it worthy of the outcome? So stay tuned as Black Minds News bring you this story. Stay tuned for this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Mind, and want to welcome you to Black MINDZ News. First and foremost, want to say what's good to my fam, subscribers new and old. Thank you for taking some time out to come over here to see what Black MINDZ News is doing. We want to thank each and every one of you from Black MINDZ News. Passerbys, if you should happen to be searching on your GPS, well, obviously searching in your search engine, and then the GPS in your search engine somehow allows you to come across the thumbnail or the title, and it enticed you to go ahead and click on "Welcome to the most hated show on the Black Corner of the Internet." Mr. Blow Your Mind, why are you saying the most hated show on the Black Corner of the Internet? Well, because we used to get 275,000 views. That's 250,000 views, 50,000, 20,000, so forth. We were getting them. Then after 2015, 16, 17, the numbers started dropping, only getting a couple thousand, 10,000, 12,000. It got down to, get down to 2018. Get back in the game, took a little hiatus and come back. And now in 2019, we were just about maybe a month ago getting about 100 views. Remember that I have been in the business for 7 years on YouTube. Have 2.9 thousand subscribers. Statistics data says that I have 700 plus people who click on the button and say, I want every notification, and yet we can't get past now 40 views. This is on 365 days a year. You mean to tell me no one goes by and maybe possibly see that and don't want to click on it? And again, you're only keeping me secluded in this country here. I'm never going outside of this. Used to be able to get all the way outside there, right? So that's why I am the most hated show on the Black Corner of the Internet. Welcome. Go down the aisle. We always got a grand opening. See something you like, click on it, watch it. If you see something that make you feel some kind of way, remember that the motto of the show is the truth don't need no partner. Now let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So, as I said, we're, talking about a situation where an individual went into a store, right? So let me go ahead and give you the article and all that comes with the trimmings. And we should be... we do that first. We'll do this and then go ahead and show that. Okay, and let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and read this to you. Ready? Let's get it. A black teen ran out with a $2 beer. Then a Tennessee store clerk followed him and shot him dead. You know I'm going to say that again. A black teen ran out with a $2 beer. Then a Tennessee store clerk followed him and shot him dead. This story is coming out of CNN, and this is how it reads. A jury found a grocery clerk guilty of killing a 17-year-old boy who left the store with a beer and didn't pay for it in Memphis, Tennessee, in a case that has sparked protests, authorities said. Anwar Ghazali was convicted of second-degree murder after a 4-day trial, Shelby County District Attorney General Amy Welrich said Friday. The defendant took it upon himself to be the judge and jury and the executioner over a $2 beer. Prosecutors Laura Fowler said, according to CNN affiliate WMC. The shooting happened in March of 2018 after Dorian Harris walked out of the Top Stop shop with a beer without paying, Welch said. Security video of the incident played in court shows that Ghazali, while behind the counter dealing with another customer, pulling out a handgun and pointed it at Harris. He then ran outside to follow the team and fired several times. After, he returned to the store and told a witness, "I think I shot him." He did not call the police, and neither did any other customers inside the store, WMC reported. Harris was shot at least 3 times and was left to bleed out. Fowler said his body was found 2 days later in a yard near the store with gunshots in the back of his thigh, where it said. Ghazali defense attorney Blake Baldwin told CNN in an email that Ghazali maintained he acted recklessly that night, but his intentions was never to harm Harris. He said they were pleased that the jury rejected the prosecution's argument that this was a calculated and premeditated murder motivated by the theft of a beer that would have come with a potential life sentence. Ghazali expected to be sentenced on September the 23rd. At his sentencing hearing, I expect him to express his heartfelt remorse and his hope that Mr. Harris' family can forgive him and continue healing, Baldwin said. The shooting, which sparked protests outside the store, has similarity to other instances of black men shot and killed over otherwise minor incidents. Bernice King, daughter of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., linked his death to the broader issues of the value of African American lives known as Black Lives Matter movement. Dear Memphis, I'm here in your city. Hashtag Dorian Harris should be here too, she said on Twitter. If we don't value black lives and believe that Dorian life is worth far more than allegedly stolen beer, then we're not authentically honoring my father. Baldwin said his defense team focused on the facts and not the emotion of the case. I understand why this case has caused public frustration because another African American kid had been needlessly killed. But decisions of guilt and innocence and question of intent should not be based on emotion, he said. The defense team did our best to make sure that the jury rendered a verdict based on the facts of the case and not on the color of someone's skin. That would be another injustice. Harris' family members mourned the young man after the killing and headed on to the trial. It shouldn't have happened like that, his grandmother, Effie Fitch, told WMC in April 2018. He was a child, and that was an adult. He ought to have more responsibility than that, and he's running a business. Why did this happen to my son? Harris' father, Pete Hansen, said earlier this week. Why was it that he was left there like that? Like he was nothing, like he was a nobody.
Now at 5, a local crime alert. A guilty sentence handed down to a store clerk who is charged with killing a teenager who stole from his store. Anwar Ghazali was found guilty of second-degree murder. He shot 17-year-old Dorian Harris after he tried to take a beer from the Top Stop shop in North Memphis in April of last year. Ghazali chased Harris before shooting him, but did not tell police. Harris's body was found 2 days later, setting off protests. Ghazali will be sentenced next month.
All right, so there's the article and there is the video to it. And we see that this story is actually going back to March of 2018, for an incident at a store called Top Stop Shop in Memphis, Tennessee, on the corner of Springfield and Howe, where a young man, 17 years old, named Dorian Harris, went into this Top Stop shop, and it is allegedly reported, because I guess you could never have a trial on that, that Anwar Ghazali, the store clerk, seeing the alleged, because we only can say alleged, right? Because I don't know if anybody even found the beer, right? Kind of like Eric Garner was there in the Lucy cigarettes. Again, we have to assume, again, maybe the videotape showed that. They didn't show that part. So we have to say that, accordingly, that this Mr. Ghazali seen Mr. Harris leaving the store as he was already attending a customer already at the counter. Pulls the gun out and threatens to shoot. Dorian runs out with the beer in hand, allegedly is what they're saying, and Mr. Anwar Ghazali runs out after him, leaves the confine of the store, goes out and let loose several shots. Don't know how many shots there were, but according to, I guess, after they did the, after he shot, it was, he comes back into the store and he says to the fact that, matter of fact, let me give you the picture of that first. Let's see, is that there? Okay, let me give you this. No, not that one. Let's see, which one is it? I guess I can go ahead and give you that one then. Okay, so let loose the shots. Comes back into the store, and he says to whoever was there present, I think I shot him. Right? That's what he says. I think I shot him. Right? And so, after this event, instead of the proper protocol should have been, get on the phone. Call the police, right? But that's not what he does, right? So he go back in the tens of what he doing, regardless of whatever had just took place. Now, no one in the store decided to call police either, right? They seen what they seen. Again, being kind of lullabied and pacified by seeing so much terror and watching it as part of entertainment that people just, it's a normal situation. Instead of looking at this nigga crazy behind this counter, this nigga shooting like that. I know he might have his bullets, whatever bullets missed, where they going, what they hit. Did they hit somebody? So do you warm up like that? So wouldn't it be incumbent at you as the community people, hey, this motherfucker is crazy, call the popo, right? But nobody does that, right? So based on that situation, we see that Dorian Harris, based on what he had, so he was in a, let's say, compromising mental state. Think about this. I say allegedly because I have to say allegedly because I don't know, but it just say if he did have the beer, right, and the store clerk shoots and is hitting him, he's, in his mind contemplating, does he want to, or maybe he's incapacitated where he can't because they shot him behind the back of his knee. Right? So maybe he can't walk. Maybe he couldn't even walk. I mean, the adrenaline, when you originally, how they say, but adrenaline, certain things you can have, kind of supernatural or superhuman strength. And then when you get to the place and then now you realize that, damn, I can't, maybe that's what happened. He couldn't get up. He can't move. So now he going to bleed out. But if he could move, he had to think in his mind, if I go and report, or if I go to the hospital, now, based on me, stealing the beer, I don't know what priors he might have, may not have any. I'm just hypothetically speaking. So now I had to deal with that. Then the store, but that's minor. right? This motherfucker shooting at you. Still, that does not justify what he did. But maybe that's what he was thinking. And so by him not doing that, he bled to death. See? Because again, I only can hypotheticalize the situation because again, we're going to be speculative about it. Because again, either you are incapacitated where you can't move, or you contemplating in your mind whether this is what you want to do. Because again, you kind of understand the repercussions that's going to come with this. And again, they minor anyway, very minor. It's so minor to the fact that this Anwar Ghazali is nothing more but an employee. Right? Think about that. You're an employee. They charge that shit to the store, right? You think when shit get damaged, things get stolen, charge to the game. Because, when you understand how stores really operate and how they put their products on your shelf, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes just charge it to the game. But again, the inundation of what people see, some people believe. So when you watch all these movies and all this shit, and so you take it upon yourself, here's a situation, you thinking they gave you a green light to freely take the gun out and bam, 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 right? Now the thing is, was he a firearm gun? We didn't hear none of that. I didn't hear nothing about that. Who gun was that? The store allowing you to have gun in there, right? It looked like it had bulletproof in there. Most of the time they got them bulletproof, up in there when you got them people like who you see on your screen, right? So they end up giving him second-degree murder, right? So we see he became the judge, jury, and executioner, according to what the article says. And that, again, think about it. He left the premise to, again, there was other ways he could have dealt with this. Yeah, the young man, allegedly, whatever he did, but again, it's minor. You could pick up the phone, call police. You got cameras, all right? You kind of remember when you come in the store, you can't come in here no more, right? But this, way people seeing the view and want to seem like they all want to have on their belt that they've done something to black people. And you see the stories I've been doing lately, a lot of them are teens. Everybody has a problem with the young black man. Because really, most people who are coming here are leaving their countries either by traders or by way of fleeing due to whatever else that I have. And you come here and you really ain't got no identity. So really what people seem to me is a lot of people want to get some of us out the damn way so that they can now step into place and now they can be the American. Because see, nobody can be really nobody in this country could be more the American than we. We contribute way more. Now, everybody don't understand the circumstance or try to act and play dumb as they don't understand that circumstance. So you got a hatred towards us because you yourself have no history when you here. You have no real input into this country. We have all the input in this country. What we say and what we do goes, and everybody goes along with it, has to go. Take it or leave it how you want to take it. So it seems like the object of other people who are not of that is to see a way to how to steal, because that's what all this legislation and all this stuff and people trying to use their sexual preference as a way to attach themselves into, right? So that's what it's all about, right? And so being black versus a beer, or beer versus being black with a beer, right? If that would have been a white person did that, you think he would have did that? Would that have been a Chinese person when he just did that? Would it have been an Indian, maybe something like he is, Pakistan, whatever? Would he have done the same damn thing? No. Because he's in the environment that this store is in, that is providing a service for a community, but the community is dilapidated and has a lot of economical disparity. And at times, if you're the only person who got some food, and again, like an old Western movie, if you a stagecoach and your ass riding by, bandits is going to come in and try to get some shit. It's not whether we condone the shit or not, just that's what it is. And so you can't take that shit personal as if like somebody really robbing you. Yes, you might be at the store, that is, nigga, you're sitting with all this food and motherfuckers hungry. Everybody ain't got money. That's just the disparity in the history that we have. Yeah, like, why don't you just get a goddamn job? Yeah. A lot easier said than done. All you do is apply yourself and, yeah. Have you seen the statistics lately about what it is about unemployment amongst black people? Even those who got education and diplomas. What about that too, right? So we see that the outcry, the outburst, that it was like a kind of a protest, right? You've seen some of the community come out and protest about that, right? And that's what has to happen. People will say an individual, young man does something like that just, again, discard him. He shouldn't have been stealing. Man, this is family. People know him personally. Again, he has his reason for why he did, but he paid the ultimate price for a situation that really should have been, okay, if he gets arrested, go down to the police station, got a court date, okay, depending on what his background might have been, you know what I'm saying, either he get probation or what, you know what I'm saying. Well, it could have been a lot of little minor shit. But the ultimate price of your life for, again, a $2 beer is what they put the price of the beer. So his life wasn't even worth $2 in the eyes of Anwar Ghazali. So you damn right, black folks supposed to get out there and protest. Nigga, you supposed to be sitting behind that goddamn bars. Regardless of how you value us and when you look at us, you don't walk our shoes. You are the outside looking at the mannequin and wondering how it feels to wear it. Ask the mannequin. I'm going to always use that as an analogy. You the fucking window watcher. You outside the window looking at the mannequin. You like what the mannequin got on the clothes, which is all the things that you love about being or watching black folks, but you don't want to be the mannequin. And you make every excuse about why the mannequin needs to be treated in the way, but we love all the gifts and talents and things and vernacular and the language and the swag, but something about you I just don't love. Cause you know what it is. We don't have to say it, do we? So it's incumbent that our people, again, regardless of how other people value us as not to be worthy, to the fact that it got the attention to Bernice King. She brought up, does Black Lives Matter? Everybody said when you made these slogans talking about does Black Lives Matter, how did everybody who all of a sudden, well, our lives matter too. What? See, look at your sickness of your mind. You talking about something that is not something that has happened on the daily and in different facets that ain't even connected to, let's just say, community and environment killing each other. If white people killing white people, Chinese people killing Chinese people, Spanish killing Spanish, and so forth and so on, you can't call about Black Lives Matter. When you have that combined with other people and other shit doing it, that's a crisis. That's when Black Lives Matter. Now, I know y'all really just, again, what's up in front. Our lives matter. Then the fucking police, blue lives matter. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Everybody turns a blind eye to what is prevalent in your eye. But I swear before the Creator, you gonna all have to, you ain't gonna be able to hide that shit. You ain't gonna be able to hide that. As much as y'all keep trying to do that shit. Think you selling the wolf cookies to us as if we buying that shit. You ain't fooling no damn body but yourself. And again, as Teddy Pendergrass said, you can't hide from yourself. Because everywhere you go, there you are. You can't fake it. Huh? So y'all try to pretend and hide behind things and do the things that you do. But again, the $2 of the beer, that the value less that he looked at his life was the same value he put on his own damn self, because he did not have enough understanding to realize once I pull this trigger, everything that happens, I am accountable for. You try try to show out for the customer. Hey, I think I shot him. If you could go back, I think you'd be like, I ain't gonna pull that damn trigger. But you can't take it back now. And that's the same thing. Some shit you ain't gonna be able to take back. It is what it is. You had your chance to make that change. You chose not to. So as Bernice King said, when people try to make it seem like, well, Black Lives Matter don't matter. Well, remember what my father was here and what he did and what he stood for. He was standing for Black Lives Matter. But you know what they do. They try to take the PC version out of it. Oh, little black horns and white hands or joining hands and holding hands. And see, that's the part they want to talk about. But there was a lot of things that was strictly for ADOS, BADOS. But that ain't the part they want to hear. Everybody only want to hear when it's about they're trying to act as if nothing. So you see it again. They sell you certain things to make you believe in it, but them themselves don't really believe in that. Because if they did, how could you do the things that you do on a constant basis and then have a straight ass face? It's the kid that ain't never been punished. It's the kid that is spoiled to death. They don't know what it tastes of the lash of his ass getting reared. But see, that's why it's said, vengeance is going to be his. Well, it is what it is, right? So here this young man lost his life. Over what? Over what? Over what? What did he lose his life for? What did he lose his life for? And so he lost his life in exchange for a beer. Now you gonna lose your life. Right? See, that's remorse now. See, that's remorse. It was bravado and, I'm doing something because I see constantly how other people doing it. They seem to be doing it. But remember I did the story with the brother that got shot, that his brother went in the store, lifting up bags of potato chips. And the store clerk did the same thing. He stopped busting. He bust and shoot my man. Lucky he didn't die. Right? Over chips. Now this one over beer. So who are these people? Why are they rationale at? Why are they understanding that? Man, you pull that trigger, man, cause and effects. So now you got to live with that. So it's just what it is, y'all. So we just want to say to Dorian Harris and his family, again, like I said, we don't be knowing the background of individuals. We're just seeing how the end coming. And sometimes the ends don't justify the means of the way that they end up dying. Something minor, something to pray, something to all kid, we all did. Again, see if you from here, been here generations, some kind of is the rites of passage of a young man growing up. You do things, again, what don't kill you, make you stronger. But in this case, in these days, being black, young, black, period, and doing some things that seem that would be, other people say, it's a prank, it's just kids being kids. But you don't have the luxury of doing that shit. Because everybody's seeing you as a fucking boogeyman. Or just somehow to have something so that when they go have a meeting, their family got something to talk about. Well, again, this is Black Minds News. Wanted to bring this forth, let you know about this story here. And, man, tell you, boy. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just to the point of just like, people just is what they is. You can't say an accident. It's not an accident. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your participation, clicking on it. Remember, when you see one another, greet each other. What's good, brother? What's good, sister? Can't do that much. At least just give it a universal nod. Take all this jealousy, envy, hatred, spite out your ass and understand we is all we got. Understand that those with the uniforms and on the team that you're on, and yes, allies are important. You gotta ask your allies a couple questions. If shit and when shit get hot, are you gonna still be in the frying pan with me? Ask them if they ever heard of John Brown. Is John Brown real to you? Fictitious story to you? Or just a myth or something you heard about? The day is dawning where, the time is coming with those who are seeking for our demise. So, you know, you could be in a certain situation like that. He didn't realize that his demise was there because the opportunity for that individual was there to do it. So Dorian Harris lost his life. So again, you must stay vigilant, mindful, cautious, and high spirit. For Black Minds News, Mr. Blows Your Minds, the host. I want to say peace, love. To the next show, y'all. To the next show.